Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and the transfer news as well. Arsenal have decided to respect the decision of ESR. He's told the club that he wants to assess all his options this summer, but most importantly, he wants to be a regular first team player. And that's not going to happen at Arsenal, and therefore Arsenal are in talks with Fulham to find an agreement for ESR. So if you're a big fan of Emile Smith-Rowe, this could be one of the videos that you have to agree are going to be painful. We are going to talk about Eder, who is also in talks with Olympique Marseille. Olympique Marseille wants him, and the player is also open to moving there. Merino talks are ongoing to join Arsenal, and Nico Williams could be off as a deal for Arsenal, as Arsenal are not going to pay 58 million euros up front for that deal. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. A lot is going on when it comes to the Arsenal transfer market, but at the moment, little is being broken. Right, let's start off with the official training. Yesterday, players came back to the Sobhad Reality Training Ground, or the Arsenal London Colney Training Ground, and you can see a couple of pictures there. Thomas Partey was back, as well as Takero Tomiyasu, the likes of Eder are all back, with the Athletic still reporting that although players like Eder are back, although players like Reiss Nelson are back in training, some of them are expected to be part of our preseason, but they will leave in August, and some players are expected not even to be part of the preseason that's going to happen starting on the 25th. But of course, some of the players there that you can see on your screen will be part of the team. I think Odegaard will be part of the team. I think Reiss Nelson is one of the players that is going to leave in August. I think he will be part of preseason. I think we will see him in some games, but he'll be able to leave before the season starts. Gabriel Jesus, definitely part of the squad. But Thomas Partey, we don't know what his future is like, so we are yet to find out. But in that picture there, you can see in the background, Emile Smith-Rowe. He's the player that we're talking about this morning as well. As Arsenal, yes, have him in training. Sorry about that, it's cut off. Arsenal have had him in training yesterday at the Sobhad Reality Training Ground, or the London Colney Training Ground for Arsenal. But we expect him to leave Arsenal this summer. So the story has been broken by the Athletic today that Arsenal have now decided to respect the player's decision. They're not going to stand in his way. They're not forcing him out. That is a very, very big point as well. But they're going to respect his decision. He wants to play more football, and he wants to play as part of the starting 11. He wants a team. He wants a project where he's going to be part of the starting 11. Now, of course, Mikel Arteta understands that he's not going to be able to provide that at Arsenal. Edu and Mikel have had conversations with the player to understand what is in the best interest of the player. What does he want? What exactly does the player really require? And they've understood the terms and conditions for Emile Smith-Rowe next season. He wants to be a part of a project that appreciates him. He wants to be part of a project that wants to give him game time. And maybe Arsenal is not that project. Now, late last night, two offers were sent in to Arsenal, one from Fulham and another from Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace offer was a bit of a joke. It wasn't actually identified or clarified on how much Crystal Palace were willing to offer for ESR, but it was a bit of a joke, and therefore we kind of ignored it. But it's the Fulham offer that has been catching up and down. It has been causing lots of conversations in and around Arsenal, but also in the media, as it was £30 million. Now, for Arsenal to turn down £30 million for ESR, that is brave. That is absolutely brave. For a player who has told you, I want to leave, I want to go and get my game time elsewhere. For a player who's told you that I don't think my future is at Arsenal anymore, for you to turn down 30 million, that was brave. But of course, for Arsenal, their valuation for the player is 47 million euros, which is around 40 million pounds. Now, according to Fabrizio, Fulham see him as a priority signing this summer, and that is what is forcing Arsenal into saying, we are going to milk the situation, we are going to get all the money we can out of this deal. Yes, you want him, and you want him as priority, and you've already sold Joao Palhinha, so you're ready to reinvest the money you got from the Joao Palhinha deal. How about you give us 40 million of the 58 million you got from Joe Palenya. Obviously, Fulham are saying that's a little bit too high. And I still think that an agreement between Arsenal and Fulham is going to be struck. I still remember the Leno deal. It took ages. And in the end, it was Fulham that were the winners. They got the player for less than £5 million. Incredible. They got him for £3 million. They got Leno for £3 million. Like one of the worst deals that Arsenal have ever done in their lives. So Emil Smith-Rowe's future at Arsenal pretty much decided. I want to say at this point in time, thank you so much, Emil. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to see you and watch you as an Arsenal player. I know next season I'm going to see you in another jersey. Probably Fulham, probably Crystal Palace, probably another jersey. It's not going to be an Arsenal jersey. Fulham are very powered up for this deal. They're preparing another offer shortly after their first offer was rejected. Now, and that shows you how serious this is, and that shows you how serious they are in terms of going to do this deal. They don't even care about that 30 million deal being rejected. They're coming back, and it is believed that if they come back with an offer between 35 to 38 million, Arsenal might not be able to refuse. So another player as well in that bracket is Reece Nelson. Arsenal expecting offers for Reece Nelson, as the player has also told the club he doesn't want to be at Arsenal anymore. He wants to be gone by the start of the campaign. Now, let's talk about Nico Williams, because this is a story that has been broken by The Athletic this morning. A little bit of negative stories around Arsenal, but I wouldn't mind. I really do like reporting the facts, and then we can talk about them. So The Athletic this morning have actually said that Arsenal are unlikely to press on with the Nico Williams deal. Nico Williams' entrance still see him as a player that will spend another season with Atletico Bilbao. With the Euros 2024 overdone, there could be movement, but they don't expect many clubs to meet the financial situation and the financial conditions of the deal. So Barcelona are more unlikely to pay the 58 million euros in one installment, and so are Arsenal. The Nico Williams deal is in absolute jeopardy. It could be over before it even begins for Arsenal. Now, what I like about that article is that the Athletic still report that Arsenal would consider going for Nico Williams if they could sell some players in those areas, in the forward areas. And I kind of feel like that is a bloody joke. That is a really bloody joke. If the Athletic are reporting that for us to get Nico Williams, we have to offload players in the front line. And why that I think that's a joke is this. We're talking about an Arsenal side that has 1 million defenders, and yet we're trying to agree a deal for Ricardo Calafiori before we consider movement, before we consider selling players in that area, in that department. So how are you telling me that for us to sign Nico Williams, we have to move on forwards? How many forwards do Arsenal have? You have Edin Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus, Trossard and Martinelli, and Kai Havertz and Saka. We have 6 forwards, right? And the Athletic are saying that for Arsenal to sign Nico Williams, they need departures in the front line. How many defenders do we really have? We have Zinchenko, Timber, Tomiyasu, White, Saliba, Gabriel. We have 6 defenders, right? And then we are adding Calafiori as 8, or we also have Kivio. So we have 7 defenders, and we are adding Calafiori as an 8th defender. And yeah, we are not really under pressure of bringing in another defender, another centre back apparently, another left back apparently, whether we sell or not. But we have pressure on getting out some players on the forward line where we are short in order to sign Nico Williams. It's a bloody joke. But this is why I think Arsenal are going to drop out of the Nico Williams deal. Or this is why I think the Nico Williams deal doesn't make any sense for Arsenal, for them. One, they're looking at 58 million euros as a bargain price. But it's a bargain price if you can pay it in 3 installments in 3 years. It's a bargain price if you can pay it in 2 years in 3 installments. But if you're told that you're going to sign Nico Williams for 58 million euros, that is 50 million pounds, in 1 installment, the money has to be paid up front. that deal financially doesn't make any sense for Arsenal in these PSR days. So I'm sorry, when you couple that with the wage structure of the player, I don't think Arsenal are going to do this deal. And still, even with FC Barcelona, it's being reported by the Sport this morning that Barcelona are very skeptical about their ability to go and do this deal. They're very, very skeptical about the financial conditions involved in this deal. So we might as well see another summer where Nico Williams stays at Atletico Bilbao because yes, the price is right, but the conditions under which the price has to be paid are wrong. So like I said this week, we were going to know what happens with Nico Williams to Arsenal. And we already know. We already know what Arsenal are planning to do and what Arsenal are not planning to do. They're planning to trigger, they have all the willingness to trigger the release clause, but they don't have in their agenda is paying that 58 million euros at once. They don't have that in their agenda. Okay. Eder Nketiah is in is in talks with Olympique Marseille ahead of what you would call an opportune moment for Arsenal if he goes to Olympique Marseille. Now, a couple of clubs are interested in Eder Nketiah. It's not only Olympique Marseille. It's not only Marseille that wants him. A couple of clubs want him, but at the moment, Marseille have the strongest interest, and talks are progressing on very well. It's not advanced, but they're progressing very well between Olympique Marseille and Eder Nketiah's entourage. This morning, the Athletic have reported that Eder Nketiah is one of the players that are expected to be at Arsenal come pre-season, but there is a high likelihood that between 5th August and 30th August, Eder Nketiah will be out of the door at Arsenal and will be playing football in another jersey, and he will be representing another set of footballing institution. And what I want to say with this is this. I think Eder will leave, right? I think Eder will leave now. Emil Smith-Rowe, Eder Nketiah, and Reece Nelson, they will leave. And I can see Arsenal go to the market deliberately signing an English player to replace the amount of English talent that we are about to lose. I think Eder leaving, that reduces the number of homegrown players. So does Emil Smith-Rowe leaving, and so does Reece Nelson leaving. So I can see Arsenal going to sign a player like Eberechi Eze, if we have not signed Merino yet, because of that. But Eder to Olympique Marseille, that is certainly something that is in the pipeline. Now, Arsenal are also still progressing with the Mikel Merino deal, as we are in talks with the players' entourage to find an agreement on personal terms, but also to make sure that we have the green light from the player's side in order for us to bid for the player. Today, this morning, the Sport from Spain are actually saying that at the moment, Arsenal are ahead of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid in terms of driving the deal, in terms of finding out information on the deal and trying to make sure that they have everything in their grasp. So looks like Mikel Merino coming in, Emil Smith-Rowe going out is what we have in at this moment. The Athletic have also reported this morning that Arsenal have a shortage of experienced goalkeepers going into pre-season, and that is going to force them to bid again for Dan Bentley. Yes, we have put Temi Setford onto one of the done deal lists, but Arsenal lack an experienced goalkeeper going into pre-season. Like I said, both of our goalkeepers are going to have an extended period of rest, with Aaron Ramsdale in the finals of the Euros, and so was David Raya. Honestly, these guys didn't even play. I'm not going to lie. They didn't even play. If you're going to give them, today is 15th, right? 15th? 16th, right? Today is 16th. If you're going to give them rest, just give them until 25th. That's enough. 10 days for guys that didn't play football, that's enough. But I think that what the club is looking to do is they want to give them that kind of emotional rest. They've had a lot going on after the season. they jumped into straight away into training sessions and pre-club friendly friendlies with their national teams. So they want to give them that emotional rest from football, and then they can come back later. So we could see a bid for Dan Bentley because Arsenal want an experienced goalkeeper. The medicals of Tommy Setford, I'll give you an update later on. So finally, I want us to talk about the strategy that I think we'll have a live show to talk about the strategy. But yesterday it was revealed that Arsenal's strategy now is to 100% mix young players with older players. And that means that regardless of what happens, the club is now very open to going 25 years, we can sign him. 26, 27, we can sign him. Even signing 30-year-olds. I think what Mikel Arteta has realized is with players like Jorginho coming in, with players like Trossard coming in, you have an added advantage. You have players that are patient enough to sit on the bench. They're not very young. They played their football at Brighton, at Chelsea, at Napoli. So you have players that are not very hungry for game time, but you have players that are ready to impact games when they come on. So Mikel is now looking into that direction. Can we get a player that can come in and give us a little bit of that? And maybe we can. So we'll be talking about the Arsenal strategy later on and the Nico Williams deal later on as well.